Okay, guys, here is some pillow talk for you. Let me start out with the frightening event, which just perspired. So, Chris and I went to see The Vow, and I was pretty excited about it because I really wanted to see it. So, we got there a little bit late, and we parked on the kind of sketchy looking side, but there's only like 3 handicap spots over there and 3 regular spots, so it was pretty fortunate seeming that we could park over there. And I made a joke like, haha, we just have to make sure we don't get raped on the way out. You know, you should never make jokes like that when you're watching a movie that doesn't get done until midnight. So we saw the movie and we came out, and there's a guy standing by his car 2 spaces over from us, and he was not getting into his car, which is pretty suspicious. He just watched us walk towards the car, so here's Kristen digging for her pocket knife in her purse and keeping her hand on it, and I just have the keys in my hand, and I'm dead set on making it to the car without getting raped and or murdered. So we make it to the car, and then after we get in, he gets in, and then we pull out of the parking lot, and then he follows us, and he follows us after the next light, and he's following us, but then he changes lanes, and he's in the lane to turn left, while we are in the lane to turn right, and then we're like, whew, we're safe, not gonna get murdered tonight, everything's fine. And we turned right, and just because we're super paranoid, we were looking back in the mirror. Well, first of all, when we were at the light, he was still staring at us. Like, he was staring at us through this entire process, and we were trying really hard not to look back at him, but it's kind of freaky, the way he's looking at us. And so we're paranoid and watching, and he gets into the right lane and proceeds to follow us. And this is when I decided to go about 70 in a 55 and change lanes like crazy and put as many cars as possible between us. And miles later, there were no cars behind us, and we were pretty excited about it. But we still walked back into our dorm with the knife out and our phones out. So, I have to say, I was being the brave one, because I knew Kristen was freaking out about it. And then when when I realized there weren't any cars behind us anymore, I just cried. Because I was like, we're safe. And I was so relieved, and that's how when I realized that I was actually pretty afraid. But there was good reason to be afraid, so I guess you guys probably want to hear about boys. I don't know if I particularly feel like talking about boys right now, but maybe later. Maybe next week. Let me see if there's anything interesting to talk about that's not boy related. Oh, well, it's kind of related to a boy, but just a really nice one. Today at church I saw this guy, and I thought, that guy looks really familiar. I don't remember who he is, but I know that he's handsome, and I seem to remember that he's a very nice guy. And I was just staring at him. Well, I was trying not to stare at him, but he was looking at me too, and I was like, I see Asbury people at my church all the time, so I thought, oh, I'm sure they have a class with this guy or something. So I'm going through all my classes, and he's not in any of them. So then I think, oh, I must have met him at an event. or a party or something. So I'm thinking through all these things in my head. I'm sure that I met him at some Asbury thing, but I can't remember what it was. So then my friend who was meeting me for the service was late, so I go sit in the front row by myself like a dork. And then he comes and he sits down next to me for a second, and he starts talking to me. He's like, "It's so crazy that you're here." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's so crazy." He's like, "I didn't know that you went to this church." And I was like, "Yeah, what are you doing here?" And I realized that he was visiting with some of his friends, which is when I realized that he went to KC, which is when I realized that I met him because we went to Haiti together, not because he goes to Asbury. So that was pretty random. Super cool guy that I thought that I would never see again, and I saw him at church today. So happy Easter. Let's see. I decided to stay here for Easter break, but pretty much every other person in the world left. So I've been watching lots of movies and TV and playing games and hanging out, eating some mint brownie ice cream. It's been good. It's been very nice not to have class, and I don't have class tomorrow, and tomorrow I think I'm actually going to do some homework, but we'll see, because I was supposed to be doing a lot of homework every day this weekend. So did get a little bit of homework done. Maybe Kristen will go with me to Starbucks tomorrow to do some homework. I'll have to see. She's pretty glad that we're still alive. I mean, I'm pretty glad too, but it was definitely one of the more frightening experiences of my life. Also, Logan, the guy I saw at church today, he's going to be in Haiti for the whole summer too. But he's not going with the same organization as me, so I won't see him. But I kind of wish I were going to see him because he's pretty cool. And I'd like to be friends with him. I'm looking at myself while I record this, and I look really tired. Which is weird because I'm finally getting some sleep. But maybe it has caught up to me. All of it. Oh, you guys. I miss all of you guys a lot. I see a picture in the background. If I could figure out how to point to it. Okay. There, that picture. It's me trying to eat Sarah. Isn't that wonderful? And that picture of all of us, Sana, Amber, me, and Sarah, holding hands at romp. That is one of my favorite pictures in the world. So, thought you guys should know that. Oh, let me show you something. Well, maybe I can take my computer around and show you a couple things. Awkward, I know. I apologize. Okay. Let's turn the light on. There we go. That is my Haitian picture frame filled with a picture of Sammy, everybody's favorite toddler in the baby orphanage, and of course, a picture of me and Tatiana, because Tatiana is my personal favorite. And I also have this painting, and I have some other really cool souvenirs, but they're out the door, where I'm not going to go right now, since if there are any murderers around, I'm sure that they're out the door. Well, I mean, I'm almost 100% sure that there's nobody hiding in my room, waiting until I get done with this vlog to kill me. But if there were such a person, I would say congratulations to you guys for being the last people to see me alive. And also, you could probably sell this vlog for a lot of money if I die right now. And I want all the money to go to the orphans in Haiti. And that's pretty much it. So I'm trying to think if I do actually have anything else interesting to say. What have I done with my life this week? No, it's not interesting. I saw Beauty and the Beast in 3D. That was fantastic. And I watched an episode of Sherlock with John Michael. And I am not 100% sure on the legality of it, but I convinced myself that it might possibly be legal, and now I'm still feeling kind of murky about it, so I'm gonna go ahead and wait on the other episodes of series 2, but it's all the first one and it's fantastic. Yeah, but that's all you're gonna know right now about the Pope. Oh, I made Mary a really great birthday present. I don't know if I told you guys yet, but Mary is my roommate next year. So, next year will be my 5th semester, and Mary will be my 5th roommate. So, let's not spend too much time thinking about how terrible my track record is, because it's kind of depressing. Well, I love you guys. Happy Easter. It's a good day to think about how much Jesus loves us and how awesome he is. So I hope that you guys have spent some time thinking about that today. And I always feel like I want to talk about either like theological things or biblical things in my blogs/vlogs. And then when I'm actually doing one, I can't really think of anything that I feel like you guys would want to read/hear about. So, not to steal from Question Tuesday, but if you guys have anything specifically religious, theological, biblical, philosophical, etc., anything missions related would be cool too. Any questions about anything like that, that's the kind of stuff that I would love to talk about or write about. So I know that I keep pretending that I'm going to finish and then not actually finishing. So I'm sorry for any of you who are in a hurry while you watch this. And I understand if you skipped around and didn't want to listen to the whole thing. And I know that I'm rambling now and it's even worse. So I'm going to stop and say once again, not to be redundant, that I love you all and happy Easter.